please, don't try anything that you're about to see us do at home. Ever.
Aboard this episode of MythBusters.
Welcome back, pirates.
It's the Pirates Special sequel. Our very own Pirates of the Caribbean once again plunder and pillage for pirate parable. First, Adam and Jamie tackle the movie-inspired myth of the pirate submarine.
This is either madness or brilliance.
Then Carrie and Grant bury Tori alive.
Oh, gee, he's up to his knees.
To find out...
Oh, Fiddle, we're up to your middle.
If you can escape...
Oh, heck, I'm up to his neck.
A terrifying death sentence. And finally, more Caribbean chaos as Adam and Jamie...
What do you mean we ain't got no cannonballs?
...investigate the ballistic properties of improvised ammo. Who are the MythBusters?
Yeehaw!
Adam Savage.
Time for science!
And Jamie Heineman.
Is that beautiful or what?
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
It bleeds! Let's go!
Joining them, Grant Imahara.
Don't give up on me now!
Tori Belleci.
Oh, and that's how we like it.
And Carrie Byron.
High explosives and electricity, woo!
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Pirates. Apparently, we haven't done enough pirate myths.
Who says we haven't? I'll run them straight through the scurvy dog!
The fans.
And there are hordes of them!
Wait. Instead of killing them all, why don't we take a few more suggestions?
Right, and do a MythBusters Pirate Special number 2! Another excuse to not bathe for weeks!
The last time the MythBusters stopped bathing, 4 maritime myths walked the plank. Slowing a fall with a night sail hit the deck. And rum as a stain remover was...
Ah, busted!
So was the nautical notion that wooden shrapnel from a cannonball was lethal. The team finally saw the light with eye patch as a night vision aid.
That was like night and day!
But this veritable feast of fables merely scratched the surface.
96, 97, 98, 99, 3... I threw off my count.
You're too much of a landlubber to be in that outfit. You get seasick.
I don't need to go on the sea for this technique, Jamie. Check this out. It's a pirate submarine. I take a rowboat and turn it upside down, and I get inside, and I walk from the shore into the water, and the rowboat keeps a pocket of air so I can make my way out to my enemies and deal with them in a way they would never see coming.
I'm not so sure about that. That sounds like a myth to me.
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
In need of a quick escape, our irrepressible hero flips a rowboat to use as a submarine. But in the real world, would this fun-filled filmic fable go belly up?
What's the plan, Adam?
Well, I'm glad you've asked it, my non-pirate friend. I've thought about this at length, and I've considered that since I get sick on the sea, I'd like to do this whole experiment in a swimming pool.
Okay, well, we'll get, like, some ramps that we can walk down into the pool with, and we gotta find a boat.
Exactly.
Because of Adam's history of hurling on the high seas, the team drop anchor in the calm waters of the Fremont Pool in Oakland.
Okay, if you can push.
En route, they stopped in at the rowboat store, which means they have all they need to recreate the mythical movie scene in question. Using a ramp, they'll walk the upturned boat into the shallow end of the pool before heading out of their depth to test its submarine-like properties.
Oh, bloody hell, that's heavy. Oh my God, that's really heavy. Getting lighter. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's move forward. Come on.
With the weight supported on the water's surface, our potential submariners begin their descent.
Okay, here we get into deeper water. We'll find out if the boat comes with us. Are you? That's gonna be a bit of a problem, lad. Okay.
Actually, I'm sort of floating.
Well, the first test went as well as could be expected. There is indeed a breathable pocket of air in the boat, but the boat didn't sink.
Well, that didn't work at all.
Nope, our not-so-stealthy pirates were left high and wet. But despite their failure, Adam isn't ready to consign this myth to Davy Jones' locker quite yet.
Here's the problem. Humans are neutrally buoyant. When we go into the water, being mostly water, we don't weigh anything. We're not applying any downforce to this boat. But in our research, we turned up that pirates wore tons of crap, cutlasses and cuirasses and daggers and blunderbusses and all that sort of stuff. And specifically, Yellowbeard was supposed to have worn 30 pounds of stuff.
30 pounds.
Awesome.
There you go, buddy.
So Jamie and I are going to put 30 pounds each on our bodies, try this test again, and see if we get any more of a positive result.
Adam and Jamie, with 60 pounds of pirate bling and weaponry, once again attempt to slide beneath the water in their makeshift submersible. But will the excess baggage help?
Here we go again. Here we go again.
While Adam and Jamie head for deeper waters, why don't we join Carrie, Grant, and Tori for a mythical pirate torture technique?
The myth we're working on is called sand necktie.
Alright, that'd be pirate fashion.
Actually, this one's about sand. The idea is that pirates would bury their prisoners up to the neck, at the shore, at low tide, so when the tide came in, they drown a torturous death.
So what we're looking at is whether you can escape or not, right?
Exactly.
It's a myth with a morbid fascination. Buried alive. With water views. But is the pirate's sand necktie really a certain death sentence? Or could you dig your way out of your vertical, shallow grave?
Okay, so what's the plan?
Well, some people think it's not the drowning that killed the prisoners, but the pressure of the sand, that it close in around you like a boa constrictor.
Well, that sounds pretty easy. So we go to the beach, we dig a big hole, we put Tori in, and see if he passes out. If he doesn't pass out, then we can see if he escapes.
Wait, don't I get a say in this at all?
No.
No.
So it's a simple plan that involves Captain Limpy and Cabin Boy Imahara burying Tortuga Tori to the neck.
Hey, there's the X marks the spot.
Oh, there's the treasure.
There's the treasure.
All right, start digging, mates.
First up, a vertical grave,
Why am I digging my own hole?
well away from the rising tide for safety, from which Tori will attempt to escape. That's if he doesn't suffocate from the constriction first.
I don't have time to deal with that ye olde pirate trick where you have to use a shovel to dig a hole. We're in a modern world, we're modern people, and I'm a modern pirate. I'm using heavy machinery.
You know, watching Carrie dig this ditch and knowing that I'm going to be up to my neck in sand, it's kind of like watching her dig my grave. I hope I don't regret saying that.
You could say Tori's got some grave doubts.
Perfect, right up to your neck. That's good.
As a precaution against hypothermia, Tori will wear a wetsuit.
Why am I doing this? Could somebody tell me?
No, but how about giving us a prediction just the same?
My prediction, I'm going to get buried up to my neck and I won't be able to move at all. I don't think I'm going to be able to get out. I think I'm going to freak out, call everybody to come in, and dig me out.
You're gonna be okay, you'll be fine.
We're gonna be here the entire time.
Let's get this over with. What are we doing?
Oh no, he's up to his toes. Oh gee, he's up to his knee.
With torturing Tori on the agenda, Carrie and Grant are as happy as any pirate could be. Strangely, Tori isn't having nearly as much fun.
All right, I'm probably going to check out a little bit, so don't be offended if I don't answer your questions. I'm trying to remain calm here.
All right, dude, totally.
Calm breathing will be important because, as Sanjay explains, another name for this myth could be dead man's chest.
Well, one of the biggest problems I can see is that as we breathe, our chest wall expands to allow our lungs to expand, to have the air exchange happen in our lungs. Well, with the sand up against his chest and all that pressure, he's not going to be able to take normal size breaths.
It touches on all of the major phobias and fears. Being buried alive, drowning, claustrophobia. I mean, he's in a hole. The tide is coming in.
To imagine a pirate having to die this way, it's terrifying.
Cue Captain Limpy
Oh, Fiddle, we're up to your middle.
and her buried alive verse,
I've been a bad pirate.
sung to cheer up her captive audience.
Oh, heck, I'm up to his neck.
Carrie and Grant start the clock on Tori's escape attempt.
Okay, I'm ready to go. All right, what I'm doing right now is I'm just wiggling my fingers just to kind of make room for my hand and see if I can actually free my arm.
That's funny, because it just doesn't look like you're moving at all.
And that's a problem, because in addition to his fear of small rodents in the color purple, it turns out he doesn't like being buried alive.
Okay, can you guys be ready with shovels?
Yeah.
Because I'm noticing that as I'm realizing that I can't move, that it's starting to freak me out.
Coming up on MythBusters.
Adam and Jamie find out if their pirate bling will drag them down.
I think it's on an octopus.
It's the MythBusters Pirate Special sequel. Adam and Jamie have already failed to turn an upturned rowboat into a makeshift submarine. They're simply too buoyant and couldn't pull the boat to the bottom of the pool. But they're about to find out if 60 pounds of pirate accessories are enough ballast to sink them and their precious pocket of air.
I think I just stepped on an octopus. There we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay, pull. Oh, no. No, not happening.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as it was the last time.
Pretty much exactly the same.
Well, what do you think?
I think this one's a bust.
Yeah?
I think this, okay, so we added an extra 60 pounds. I think there's a lot more than 60 pounds of displacement here. I'd like to find out exactly how much.
With the myth sinking fast, the guys want some answers. And to get them, they've got another test in mind. And this time, wearing scuba gear, they're going down with the boat.
We're going to anchor ourselves to the bottom of this pool, about 500 pounds of barbell weights. We're going to put the boat down there full of water and fill it with air and see if we can hold on to it while it's got enough air for us to breathe in.
This will be the definitive test. If they can't hold down their pirate submarine with all that extra weight, the myth's a bust.
You ready to do this? Everything's set up.
Yeah.
At the bottom, they anchor themselves to a quarter-ton of barbells, grab hold of the boat, and then blow bubbles into the reservoir above them, filling it with the smallest of breathable air pockets. But they just can't hang on, and this myth floats off to wherever busted myths float off to.
Okay, you see how we've got barbell weights hanging from the boat itself? We had to put 200 pounds onto the boat just to offset the buoyancy of the wood before we even got air into it. That's how much buoyancy we're talking about. Then you put air in, and Jamie and I couldn't hold on to it with 500 pounds. There is no way that under anything remotely approaching a normal circumstance, a human could hold a breathable pocket of air by himself at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, something tells me we're not quite done yet, though.
Oh, no. Yes, they're going to appease the curiosity gods by running the numbers.
I think it's time to quantify just how much weight it's going to take to hold that boat down.
The way we're going to find that out is by filling it with water and weighing, keeping track of the weight of the water that we put into it until it sinks.
Okay, it's a complicated thing, but basically, Adam and Jamie are going to flip this myth on its head. By overcoming the boat's buoyancy, they'll know how much force or weight it would take to hold down a boat full of air. So there's going to be a whole lot of bailing in reverse.
Hey.
Each of these buckets holds 40 pounds of water.
40.
And after 2,000 pounds of H2O and barbells...
Yeah, that's it. Now it's coming over the side over there.
Adam and Jamie know exactly why this myth is sunk.
All right, so I took 2,000 pounds of water and barbell weights combined to sink this boat. In practical terms, what that means is if you're trying to hold this boat upside down, full of air at the bottom of the ocean, that there's 2,000 pounds of force pulling upwards. So that even if you were Jabba the Hutt and weighed enough to hold the boat down, your arms would still have an out-of-body experience. They would be ripped out of their sockets. You couldn't do it.
So there's just one outstanding question. How did Captain Jack Sparrow do it in the movie? The sequence has 3 key shots: entering the water, the submerged walk at the bottom of the ocean, and finally the pirates safe in their air bubble.
Shot the first. Pirates Jamie and Adam seeking to evade detection, walk their boat into the water. Here we go.
This one's pretty simple. No special effects needed here.
Oh, I think it's working. Right, shot the second. Pre-drilled holes of weight to make the boat sink. Jamie and Adam inside with special small air tanks. Ready? Here we go.
With a neutrally buoyant boat and concealed air tanks, our pirates can defy physics and walk their submersible along the ocean floor.
Shot number 3. Jamie and Adam the pirates from inside the boat. You ready? Go!
Supposedly at the bottom of the ocean, they're actually walking the upturned boat along the surface.
Are you excited? Yeah. Kind of the strong side of time he is.
So there you have it. Hollywood special effects uncovered. A physics-defying sequence made into reality with some clever behind-the-scenes work.
It's all a bunch of movie magic we've done for your benefit. Movie magic thing's pretty cool. I really think we can make a go for it. What do you think? Sure, why not? Let's be special effects wizards.
You know, Adam, it's perfectly clear. There's just no way that 2 men could hold a boat underwater if it's got a pocket of breathable air in it. It'd be too buoyant.
Right, and it didn't work worth a damn either.
Yeah, so the myth is busted?
Busted, totally busted, busted!
But wait, there's more.
That's right. If you want to learn more about buoyancy and exactly why this myth was busted, then simply log on to www.discovery.com/MythBusters.
And get more.
Later,
What are you doing, my cannon?
Adam and Jamie wheel out the big guns. But first, will Tori lose his head?
This is scary, I'm not gonna lie.
Pirates are an intrinsic part of modern-day entertainment. I mean, who doesn't love a camp pirate musical extravaganza? But let's not forget, back in the day, they prowled the high seas with murderous intent.
I take what I want and I want what I take.
Crossing paths with a corsair could be fatal in any number of imaginative ways. But surely the worst was the mythical sand necktie. Buried to the neck, the incoming tide ensured a gruesome, claustrophobic death. Or did it? Tortuga Tori, up to his neck in it, is attempting to find out.
This is scary, I'm not gonna lie.
But despite losing his head for the 5 minutes he was locked in position, Tori eventually manages to free one of his arms.
Hey!
Oh my gosh.
There you go. It's a good start. You know, if you can get one hand free, you can dig yourself out.
Now that I have my arms free, I feel much better.
Tori may feel better, but freedom is still a long way off.
Well, we're a little bit past the 30-minute mark. He seems to be doing pretty well, except I'm noticing that he's digging in and then he has a cave-in. And it's like he has to start all over again.
God! You know what? I welcome the tide now.
With Tori ready to end it all, Carrie and Grant step up to boost morale.
Right, here we have a very rare sight, the burrowing Balachi. He's almost formed his little burrow, and that'll be his home for the next 5 years.
And what do you know? The burrowing Balachi musters his energy and...
That is 86 minutes.
After an hour and a half of extreme science, Tori must be feeling on top of the world, right?
Gosh, this whole experience pretty much sucked from the beginning. The only time it sounded kind of fun was when we were in the office saying, hey, do you want to get buried up to your neck in sand? And I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of fun. But getting out of it was really hard. It's taken me over an hour to dig my way out of this hole.
The escape casts doubt over the myth that the infamous sand necktie will give you a bad case of dead. But Tori was buried in dry sand, well away from the incoming tide. Until they test the lethality under those conditions, this myth is still alive.
You know, Jamie, I've always pondered. What would pirates do if they were in a battle and they ran out of cannonballs?
They'd improvise. You know, they'd just grab anything they had handy and shove it down the barrel.
That sounds like something we should test.
You got it.
In this movie myth, when the ship hits the fan and there's no cannonballs left on board, you can supposedly blast your enemy with whatever's on hand. But what would happen in real life? Would this improvised ammunition lead to a ballistics bullseye? Or is it just fantasy physics?
Well, accepting pirate booty, what would you find on a pirate ship that you could cram down a barrel and fire at your enemies?
Well, let me think. The first thing that comes to my mind would be silverware, like cutlery.
Oh, that's good. I guess if you were desperate, you could use bottles of rum and wine.
Chain.
Nails.
Well, and then if you're really hard up, I mean, you are a pirate after all, so you can take off your wooden peg leg and you can fire that.
Well, you'd have to be very, very desperate, but that sounds great. Let's try.
As plans go, this one's as simple as it gets. Jamie and Adam will gather the ad hoc ammunition they've chosen to test.
It's a genuine bona fide pirate peg leg.
And make their way down to the Alameda County Bomb Disposal Range to fire it from a cannon. And the artillery in question has a familiar muzzle.
Look at that. Boxing an old friend.
How you doing there, little buddy?
Of course, old friend, old Moses, and cannoneer Harry Webb have had a blast with the MythBusters before. And because they can do that, it's no surprise they've been invited back.
My buddy Old Moses here is a replica of an 1841 6-pound ball cannon, and it fires that 6-pound ball at about 900 miles an hour. Harry, are you okay with us shooting pretty much anything we decide to put in the cannon?
Certainly within reason. I mean, it has to be under 3 1/4 inches and under 12 pounds, just for the stress of the gun. But anything you can fit down there that qualifies for that is fine with me.
With Harry's blessing, they can begin prepping old Moses for firing. And unfortunately for everyone within earshot, Adam can get into character.
What are you doing with my cannon? Hold it right there. Now, who told me that we had no cannonballs? I want you to take everything we've got on the ship, shove it down that barrel, and shoot it at that boat. Well, don't just stand there.
Are we going to have to listen to this all day?
Yes.
Next.
Bottle of red, bottle of white, whatever kind of mood you're in tonight.
Adam and Jamie begin firing their improvised ammo.
Wow. That's so percussive.
On location at the bomb disposal range.
What do you mean we ain't got no cannonballs?
Jamie and Adam are on course for some Caribbean cannonball chaos.
It's a bit hot being pirate.
They're testing the myth that improvised ammo will work in place of regular cannonballs.
Perfect!
And to do that, they need a target. Some way of gauging and comparing the performance of the different types of ammo.
If you've watched MythBusters before, you know that pigs are often used by them as human analogues. Lucky for us, there's not a big difference between humans and pirates. So he makes an excellent pirate analog.
And now, a short break to hear from our partners on the Pirate Channel.
Welcome back, pirates, to the Pirate Channel's Household Hints. If you're like me, you found yourself in the heat of battle without a cannonball, and I'd like to suggest a few things you might shove down that barrel for maximum damage. Of course, you can run to the mess hall and use whatever pirate cutlery you've got. I like this method just fine, but if I've got steak knives, if my men are eating well, these are much more effective. Nails are also very good. Shove a bunch of them down the barrels like a pirate flechette gun. I like the chain for eliminating 5 or 6 people at a time off the deck. And if your pirates subscribe to the Geneva Convention, the oldie pirate rum is ideal because it creates wounds that are pre-disinfected. Grape shot is, of course, the most loveliest, but if you find yourself without any of these, don't fear. You can always use your own peg leg as a weapon.
While Adam's been working on his career in daytime pirate TV, Jamie's done, some work.
You want sawdust in there with it?
Put sawdust in the middle of it.
Under the careful tuition of our resident cannon expert, Harry, he's packed the ammo for the first test.
First up is grape shot. This is kind of a control because this is an actual thing that pirates would have used. They're basically just balls, and you shoot a whole bunch of them out of the cannon. It's kind of like a great big shotgun.
And for a great big shotgun, you need lots of gunpowder, which the team carefully load before sliding the grape shot canister down the barrel. Okay, test number 1. Remember, this is a control using legitimate period-accurate ammunition. It'll be the point of comparison for what's to follow.
Fire it! 3, 2, 1!
Oh, wow. All right.
I think it hit him.
I'm pretty sure that's a palpable hit.
Yep, Porky the Pirate took a hit. A hit with at least enough force to knock him off his hook.
I don't have anything to say about this. It's astonishing. Oh, look, really, you should just be watching the high speed. Check out the high speed. Do you see what I'm talking about? This grape shot is deadly.
That's our control. That's what we're going to compare all the other types of things we're shooting out of this cannon to.
So, what's next on the menu?
So in the middle of a battle, you haven't got anything hard or metallic to shove in your cannon. Maybe you go for the stores, and we thought broken glass. So what we've got is bottle of red, bottle of white, whatever kind of mood you're in tonight.
But Jamie thinks this movie myth is going to go up in smoke.
The glass is going to shatter right off the bat. The shock wave is going to disintegrate the glass. The liquid is just going to vaporize. I wouldn't be surprised to see just little flecks of glass on the pig, and that's about it.
You like your pork marinated in wine?
Firing! 3, 2, 1!
That's so percussive.
Did someone mention percussion? Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. With artillery explosions written into the score, it's the perfect MythBusters soundtrack.
Exactly what I said it was going to be. It's got little flecks of glass on the surface. Oh, there's one that actually went in a little bit?
It looks like it, right through the claw. Ugh. Gross.
I don't think you'd die from that.
No, yeah, it would hurt, but it's not like you'd kill a whole bunch of people. You'd have a bunch of people who are annoyed and smelled like wine.
Yeah, maybe kind of bloody.
Let's set up again.
Okay.
So bottles of grog are busted as improvised ammo. But that's only the first item on this menu of mayhem. Coming up, Grant calls the crabs for help. But first, Adam and Jamie are aiming to find out if
That pig
will survive another barrage of improvised ammo. Adam and Jamie are tackling the tall tale of improvised ammunition. They have a period-accurate cannon, a pirate pig for cannon fodder, and a range of mythical movie-inspired ammunition. So, what's next to test?
I tell you what I want to see from this, why I'm so excited about doing this, is I want to see one of these spoons, like, sticking right out of our pig, our pirate. You gotta figure, things really suck for you at this point. You're loading silverware into your cannons.
So is this a case of what you see is what you get? Or will the real-world results match up?
Front. 3, 2, 1.
I can't get used to that.
I know, it's just nothing that makes it comfortable. I saw like a whole spray. It was awesome.
But a closer look at the scene reveals none of the silverware stuck in Porky the Pirate Pig.
I don't see any cutlery in him. Where's all the cutlery?
Cutlery doesn't work too well. I mean, it's not like it is in the movies where you've got, you know, a fork and a knife and a fork and a knife and a spoon. It does this. It gets all mangled. It goes everywhere. It's not accurate. It's probably lethal to somebody somewhere in the target zone, but it's not like the grape shot where you hit what you aim it at and they're gonna be dead.
The guys have proved randomly shoving cutlery down the barrel is busted, but silverware still has a shot at making its mark. On the next test, a healthy handful of steak knives is packed into a ballistics-friendly container.
That's just scary looking. Look at it. Look at it. All heading right for you. Let's try it.
The meat knives are locked and loaded. The target is in place. What's on the menu, Captain Redbeard?
That pig.
It seems his reputation as a bloodthirsty scourge of the high seas is accurate.
Firing. 3, 2, 1.
It's always an adrenaline rush.
Uh-oh.
What?
I can see it from here.
What?
We got damage.
We got damage?
We got flesh wounds.
Wow, look at that damage.
Yep, on the high-speed steak knives side through their target. Aligning them in the canister to keep them compact as they left the muzzle made a huge difference to the result.
Oh, we got some good slices, so we could, based on that, say it'd definitely be lethal.
So, what's next?
Well, why not the pirate leg?
Ah, good. Well, I picture the situation as totally desperate. You just like, right, lads, get my leg off. You take your leg off and just shove it in the end of the barrel and yell, fire! You don't have to cut it or anything, just pook and see what happens.
And what happens is...
I don't see anything.
The peg leg ceases to exist.
Where's my peg leg?
I see a lot of little splinters all over the place.
With a pound of 1F black powder sending an explosive shockwave at 900 miles per hour along the 60-inch barrel, it's no surprise the peg leg went away.
Note, pirates, never use your wooden leg in a firefight.
Tori has found out if you're up to your neck in it, life can be a beach.
Hey! Oh my gosh.
But he did escape, casting doubt that the mythical pirate punishment, the sand necktie, is a certain death sentence.
Troy didn't pass out, but he did get out. It just took him an hour and a half to dig his way out.
Yeah, but that was dry sand, and this myth is about wet sand. So I think the next logical step is to bury someone up to their neck in wet sand and see if they can escape that.
Yeah, but I think it's just too dangerous to bury somebody that close to the waterline. Maybe what we should do is build a box, fill it with wet sand, and have some kind of mechanism so if the person starts freaking out, we can release the sand and they can get out safely.
Okay, so who are we gonna bury?
Well, since Carrie's knee's messed up and I'm building the box, looks like it's you.
Arr!
So this time, cabin boy Imahara will play the part of prisoner.
If you can't breathe, if something goes wrong, we need to get him out quickly. We're gonna have straps around all the walls that are gonna hold the box together. We pop the straps and the wall will collapse and the sand will come out and we'll be able to rescue Grant. The sand chamber is complete.
While Grant and Tori dream of world domination, let's get back to the beach.
Man, we need a new cabin boy, so we get rid of you.
where they set up the sand chamber ready for Grant's incarceration.
All right, here's the plan. Step 1, we build the box. Step 2, we put Grant in the box.
Don't knock on the glass. It upsets the fish.
Step 3, we fill up the box up with sand and water, and then we see if Grant can get out.
Tori brings in the mechanical digger to start loading up the sand, and Carrie and Grant organize the water pump to simulate sand conditions close to the shoreline. You know, wet. All that's left to do is for Grant to put on his wetsuit.
Hey, make sure you cover the poop deck, okay?
Get back in his box.
Okay, I'm ready. That's an interesting experience.
And wait patiently as Carrie and Tori
It's like watering a little Grant flower.
add enough water and sand to bury him to the neck.
This is a very interesting feeling. I cannot move my arms at all. I can wiggle my toes and I can wiggle my fingers.
All right, this is feeling pretty good. What do you think? We let him go for it?
All right, pirate, dig your way to freedom.
All right, here I go.
I will be playing the part of the tide. Woo! Splash, splash!
I got my fingers, I'm making a little finger space, trying to head towards the stomach. And in fact, I'm making use of my arm being straight up and down as a path to the top and moving my shoulder, which is working pretty well.
Safe in the knowledge he can call for the quick release, Grant coolly tries to think his way out of his beachside jail.
I think I can do this.
Tide's coming in.
But that early confidence is misplaced, because after 10 minutes of desperate struggling, Grant realizes he may as well have been trying to stop the tide coming in.
You know what?
What are you thinking?
It just hit. I had 2 open cavities down by my fingers.
Huh?
They just filled in. I got 2 fistfuls of sand and I can't move anymore.
The higher density of the wet sand, plus the water Carrie and Tori are adding to simulate the incoming tide, seals Grant's hands and his fate.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
All right, let's get him out.
How are we gonna get him out?
We'll test the safety mechanism.
Okay, I'm getting way far back.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready to see this.
Okay, here we go. Stand back, everybody. 3, 2, 1.
While Grant enjoys an endorphin high from his near-death experience, Tori can explain why this myth was confirmed.
The water is a key factor in this whole experiment. If the water is continually washing over the person buried up to their neck, there's no way they can get out. The sand just continues to fill up those gaps because the water keeps pushing the sand into those gaps. So if you're buried up in your neck and you're close to the shoreline, you're pretty much dead. All right, this one's looking confirmed. You can't dig your way out of wet sand.
And I think you would drown before you'd asphyxiate from the pressure on your lungs from the sand. So all in all, this is a very dastardly punishment or death.
That's confirmed.
Next, on MythBusters,
That's kind of intense.
Adam and Jamie graduate as cannoneers. Adam and Jamie have been playing with big guns and improvised ammunition. But so far, the Cannonball Chaos myth has yet to live up to its movie inspiration.
What's next?
Nails.
Nails.
Ye olde nails.
Ye olde nails. Let's set up for Jamie's ye olde flechette gun.
If you're wondering, flechette, literally translated from the French, means little arrow. So flechette rounds are small darts, needles, or nails. And Jamie has the chance to fire this supersized flechette gun.
You're now a cannoneer, sir.
Thank you. That's kind of intense.
Oh, that's bad. Now that is a mortal wound. After all that we fired at this intrepid pirate, I have to say, ye olde nails are almost as deadly as the grape shot. Look at this. Look at the damage they done to this poor bloke. That's awful.
Nice big heavy nails like that, you don't want to be in front of them.
More, what's next?
Next are lengths of chain, a perfectly legitimate thing to find on deck.
Here we go, this one's for glory. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
Roar! Let's go look. Oh! Wow! Dude, that is wrong! Wow!
That's about the most gruesome damage we've ever done to one of our pirates and
one of any of our test subjects. That's
Yeah.
horrifying.
Gruesome indeed. Friends and family of Porky the Pirate may wish to look away now. Quite simply, of all the improvised cannon ammo tested, the heavy-duty chain was easily the most effective.
It actually behaved like a bullet. It just passed right through him, it ricocheted off the hill, landed in the grass a couple hundred feet away, still in one piece.
So where do we stand on cannonball alternatives?
The lightweight stuff didn't fare so well. I mean, the peg leg, the wine bottle, the silverware, they just don't have much mass. They kind of disintegrated. I wouldn't want to stand in front of it, but not so good.
Whereas the sharp stuff and bladed stuff, like the steak knives and the nails, was actually somewhat effective.
Yeah, and then the absolute most terrifying thing in the whole deal was that chain. It was just horrible.
Without a doubt. In fact, I'm packing chain for every pillaging trip I take.
Pirates!
Arr!
We've done some good work here. It ought to tide the fans over for a little while.
Arr!
What's your favorite letter of the alphabet?
L!
And sometimes Q.
See you next time.